Hello friends, welcome. In this video, we're going to tackle process of building my PC, which I will use for video editing and casual gaming. At first, let's roll the intro. And we're back. For quick specs and list of items that I used for this PC build, you can check the description below. Now let's start. Before I start building, I wore gloves and anti-static straps to avoid any static electricity discharge that may cause damage to the electronic parts of the PC. For the motherboard, I chose the Asus TUF B550M Plus. This will be the base reference for the other parts that I will use. Next is the processor. For this one, I chose AMD Ryzen 7 3700X, which has 8 cores and 16 threads. I carefully align and connect the processor to the slot in the motherboard, which is dedicated for the processing unit, and then secured the lock. Then for my drives, I used 2 pieces of Kingston NV1 NVMe. One will serve as my boot drive, and the other one is for file storage. Just simply locate the dedicated slots for the drives. Remove the screws of the cover, and then carefully push the drives into its dedicated slots. These slots will depend on the model of your motherboard. After you have successfully connected the drives, you can now screw them in place and then put back the cover of the other one. Next up, I used 2 pieces of 16GB RAM G-Skill Trident Z Neo. I removed the latches for RAM connection and just carefully push the RAMs to their respective slots. Next is to prepare the motherboard for mounting to the case. I removed the dedicated brackets on the motherboard and prepared it for mounting to the case. For the PC case, I chose Dark Flash DLX 21. Just simply screw the motherboard to the case via the dedicated mounting slots. Up next is the cooling unit for the PC. For this, I chose deepcool Gammaxx L240 AIO V2. Connected the fans into the radiator of the AIO. Then I connected the mounting brace into the cooling head, which will connect it into the motherboard. But before connecting the AIO into the motherboard, I put the front fans first. I used 3 pieces of deepcool RF 120M and then 1 fan on the rear part of the case. And now time to connect the radiator of the AIO into the case. I mounted it on the top of the case, connected it by screws. Before connecting the cooling head, I applied a thermal paste. I used Kryonaut thermal paste. Just properly align the bracket and secure it with screws. Next thing I did is to prepare the cables for the PSU connection. I also added an SSD drive for extra file storage. And again, I chose Kingston SSD 960GB. Then it's time to connect the GPU. For my graphics processing unit, I chose Asus TUF Gaming GTX 1650 OC. Again, just simply connect it to the dedicated slot and screw it in place. For the final part, it's time to put on the PSU. I chose Seasonic Focus GX. Connected all the cables and finished it up by putting back the covers of the case. After building the PC, time to put it on test. And luckily the PC successfully booted and works fine. This is my first time of building a PC on my own. And I hope this video will somehow help you if you are planning to build your own PC. And that's it for this video. Thanks for stopping by. This is JK. See ya.